just a call away. They've got the tools and they know the score. Hustling hard, giving more and more and more. Find that backyard or skyline view. They make it happen for you. The Jonathan Cook team makes it easy. Buying and selling is just so breezy. They hustle hard with style and grace, leading you to your perfect space. No matter the steps or what you plan, they're holding the map right in their hands. The Jonathan Cook team makes it easy. Buying and selling is just so breezy. From the first step, they clear the way. Your dream home's just one call away. If you wanted to see how easy all this could be, we're just one call away. If you wanted to see how easy all this could be, we're just one call away.
You're listening to another episode of The Infinite Agents.
Let's go, dude. Taylor's getting better at that every week, man. I love that. Woo, let's saddle up. Brooks, how you doing today?
I'm doing excellent, Jonathan. Yourself?
Doing awesome. Thank you so much.
Well, great. And James, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm in the room with you guys, so let's go.
We kept it a big secret. We were going to not tell anybody that James was coming on. So, James,
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to be here with you guys. Totally planned this. We weren't winging it at all, so.
No, not at all. Jason, how you doing?
I'm good. Hey, I was gonna say I'm doing good, guys.
Oh, that's
just in
great.
case anybody's wondering, I'm good.
On a scale of 1 to 100, like where would you turn the dial?
Like an 89.275.
But you were never a B student.
No, but I'm only not a 100 because we found out today that Brooks took his wife's last name.
Oh my gosh, Brooks.
Oh, I hate to hear that.
So
Yeah.
your wife's maiden name is Summer. Good to know.
Yeah, I took it and I folded it up and it's
Her
been
name is
filed away.
Summer Summers.
You know, he's trying to get you right now, but look who's calling on his phone.
Hey guys, this is my mom. Mom's calling.
You know, Jason got rated best person on the podcast by his.
Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
and his 14-year-old girlfriend, right?
Oh my
From
God.
Matwicks.
Oh,
Madwicks.
all right. With that being said,
Moving on.
today we're going to be talking about focus because we're in the fourth quarter of the year, no matter what industry you're in. Whether you're someone that's a teacher, a coach, whether you have your own podcast and that pays all your bills and that's your only gig. Maybe you're in real estate, maybe you're in insurance, maybe you're a car salesman. No matter what you're doing, you are entering the fourth quarter of the year. Excuse me. And I just have to say that was an accident. I did not plan for that, but somebody fed me Dr. Pepper before this episode, and that was not smart. But we are moving into the fourth quarter of the year, and this F word is what we have been talking about and what we have been well, what we have been Can I get a little more volume, Taylor, while we're at it? This is the word that we've been focused on for this last week, and we just want to talk about the same conversations that we've been having. So as you get into your fourth quarter, we believe that we want everybody to have a Super Bowl win. But the Super Bowl doesn't happen in October, November, December. Super Bowl always comes in February. But you don't win a Super Bowl by preparing in January. You win a Super Bowl by preparing in the preseason, which was really June, July, and August, and we hope you had a good preseason preparation. But if you didn't, it's still not too late. And you can have a great football season. You can have a great chance at a Super Bowl and a Super Bowl win. I just want us to continue this conversation that we were having off air of what we're all focused on right now, because every one of these guys in the room, Taylor, Jason, Brooks, James, that we are in here with, are all guys I respect. I respect your success level. I respect your results. I respect your focus. And so let's just continue this conversation that we're having right now. James, what are you focused on right now that's really starting to pay off for you that maybe you weren't focused on middle of the year, but you've gotten like laser beam focused on it? And by the way, would you also tell everybody who you are and your tenure in real estate, how long you've been in, what you've accomplished, and what company you're with?
Yeah, so I'm James Irwin. I've been on the Jonathan Cook team for 8 years. 8 years and some change. I'm at Realty of America. And yeah, it's been a great ride so far. I think for me, last year at our planning advance in October, my word for the year was focus. And so that's something I struggle with a lot, is just staying on task and keeping myself, holding myself accountable and doing the things that actually move the needle in my business. And so we've been talking about focus all year. And to me, the thing that will move the needle in most people's businesses is continuing to focus, because it's so easy to be distracted. We talk all the time about how the worst thing that can happen to your day is being distracted, and just how far off that'll take you off course and how long it takes to get back on course once you get distracted.
Doom scrolling is what everybody gets into.
Oh, dude. My Sunday morning screen time report, do you guys get that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
9 a.m.
Dude, it's like I need to turn it off, because every Sunday I'm like, are you kidding me? Well, are y'all willing to say the number of hours you spend on screens every day?
Yeah, I'm willing to say the number.
Let's all say it at the same time on average.
Okay. Is this
One.
number of hours?
Number of hours. One
What? Wait, in a day?
in a day.
Okay.
Because your phone tells you that every
Wait,
Sunday.
where do you look it up?
Yeah,
where do you look
that up? I don't know.
Let's give that shortcut to
That's a
everybody.
great point.
That's actually a great shortcut, because I actually don't know where to find it.
Yeah, it sends a report for me every Sunday at like 9 a.m. right before church gets kicking.
Yeah, but you've got an Android phone, so that's,
I mean, yeah, it's heads and shoulders above your
that's
18th century cell phone.
Where do you look at screen time on the iPhone? We're about to let James
you go
bring that to the
to-
table.
I don't really know.
You go to the part of the where it narcs you out. That's
Okay.
the part.
that's where's that at, Brooks? Narc.
Yeah, well,
Taylor, can you take over this? Do you know where you find
You
screen
go
time?
to settings and you search for screen time.
Okay,
That's
settings.
what I would do.
That's
Settings.
probably the way to do it.
I'm sorry, I got a very important call from Scam Likely.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay.
Oh, there it
I
is.
have my daily. Okay, yeah.
Okay, there it is.
I've got mine.
Thank you, Taylor, for the shortcut.
Okay. Well, on the count of three, everybody say their screen time.
So far, daily average.
Daily average.
I can't say this number. This is
Yeah, you can.
diabolical.
Yeah, you can.
Do it.
1, 2, 3.
11
7
hours.
Yeah, mine's closer to like 8 or 9.
Yeah, I
I'm
still
not
haven't
seeing
found
it.
though. Yeah,
What's yours?
You guys suck.
I'm gonna go with.
Look. Let me see your
10.
phone. Go to settings.
Yeah, I've heard what you do with when you go to people's phones there.
No. Oh my gosh. All right, let's go to the chat. We have
It's off the
We have
rails.
some good questions coming in, and thank you for this. If you're watching live on YouTube, drop an L in the chat there. And we now have our YouTube subscribers number. We said last week that we would start talking about YouTube more, because some people last week, the only way they could get in, we had a Facebook meltdown that we have now fixed. So thank you, Taylor, for fixing that. But I'm about to look up the Infinite Agent on YouTube, and I am going to look and see how many subscribers we have, because Taylor has helped us with so much on our YouTube channel to get that going. And I've never had a YouTube channel before since years ago in the band, but here we are. We have 56 subscribers on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So thank you, Taylor, for that help.
Whoa, that's nice.
And last week we did have a little bit of a technical difficulty, which we appreciate everybody bearing with us through that.
Yeah, we
A
had
little
no
glitch.
chat on last week's episode, but here we go. Shaughnessy Ransom says settings and then screen time. Shaughnessy, thank you so much for that shortcut. What is your screen time for the daily average? Are you willing to share that? I can't believe I'm at 11 hours of screen time a day.
That's pretty wild.
That
9 hours and 14 minutes. 3.5 hours is maps and travel. 5 hours and 40 minutes is social.
Wow. Yeah, so I didn't even think about breaking it down. So,
You got to get a better phone.
yeah, it breaks it down right here, way better than the Android. Look at this. My goodness.
This is the great divide.
Yeah, this is interesting. So we're talking today about focus. Shaughnessy's is 3.6 hours. Mine's 10.4. Today, I've already been on the phone for 5 hours and 46 minutes of screen time today alone.
That's nice.
And it is 3 o'clock. So the interesting thing about focus is if you are not training yourself on it, you're probably not getting better at it. So I'm going to use this cap of this Fiji water as an example. And when I'm speaking on this, a lot of times I'll take a pen out of my pocket, and I won't even tell them I'm about to do this, and I'll just do this. I'll just drop the pen and see how many people's eyes go to the pen that I dropped. Some people will actually go even further than that, and they will try to get up out of their seat, pick up the pen off the ground, and hand it to me while I'm speaking. That is an example of lack of focus. I've trained and spoke on this enough. James has been in the room. How many times have I spoken on this when you're in the room?
Oh, I mean, 100 times.
He knows when a pin's coming out, and I do this, like don't look at it, and he never falls for it. And It's inevitable. In several rooms, people will not only all their eyes go to it, it shoots their wheels off, but it also, they get up out of their seat and try to bring it to you. Here's what I'm talking about today. If you are not focused on focus, you'll never get better at it. You won't even realize how distracted you are. So here's things that can distract you: an ambulance, a police car, a helicopter, a jet flyover, an airplane, a loud noise, something dropping. What do you do to stay focused on your goals, Brooks? Because I bragged on you huge this morning in our morning training that we will send you the Zoom link if you want to be on that. But we're in the morning training, about 80 of us this morning, 60 to 80. And I was just bragging on you. You have some of the best focus of any of my friends.
Yeah, and the thing that gets me the most is news. I'm very political. I like following the politics and finding out what all is going on.
Sure.
And, right now, one of the big things people are focused on is going to be the shutdown.
Okay.
Like, how is shutdown going to impact real estate? It's really not. Only if you're getting a USDA loan is it going to impact you. FHA, VA.
What's the shutdown?
The government shut down. It shut down last night at 12:01 because they did not have a continuing funding resolution to keep the government open. There will still be parts of the government that will stay open that are considered mandatory, and we are being told that there will be firings happening. So this is just one way to cut some of the bloat. So they allowed the shutdown to happen so that they could start cutting off some of the fat.
Okay, so how does this apply to people that want to stay focused?
Well, really, whenever it comes down to it, this is one of the things that pulls me off of focus, is getting pulled into whatever the media is doing. So the way that I deal with it the most is that I set myself an amount of time to be able to scroll through and check. Like, there are 3 websites that I bounce through. And so I will go through and read headlines. And if there's something there that's pertains to my business, then I will get into it. But if there's things that don't pertain to my business, I just make mental note and come back to it after hours.
Okay, so let's talk about something that pertains to our business today. James is probably the best I know at this. He studies the trends in MLS. And what the MLS trends are is they come out the first of, when do they come out, James?
They update all the time, but we check it around the first of the month. So it's typically good to check it around the 3rd or the 5th after everything's actually closed out for the previous month.
Oh, okay. So they're rolling and updating daily?
But it's consistently being updated based upon people closing things out in the MLS. And since agents aren't really the best at data entry or being timely on changing those over in their focus and their data entry on being timely on that.
Yeah.
A lot of times you have to wait like that 3 or 4 days to figure out what actually happened last month.
Yeah.
So as we get into the trends, James has some trends that he might pull up for us here in just a minute from MLS. I want to go through those trends with everybody because last month when we went through the trends, it was extremely valuable to agents. We got more messages on that episode of like, would y'all break down those numbers each month? I don't know where to find them. I don't know what they mean. So here in just a few minutes, we'll let James break down some of those trends, but let's go to the chat before we do that. Shaughnessy Ransom says 3.6 hours to be exact. I'm wicked ADHD, period. I have a lifetime of training myself to stay focused. Shaughnessy, I really appreciate this conversation in the chat. And I'm wondering, would you be willing to drop a couple of nuggets in the chat on ways that you have stayed focused on focus? Is that fair enough, Jason?
Yeah, that's fair. I like that.
Kind of focused on focus. And so, Jason, I'm going to ask you the same question, then we'll hop right into the trends that James pulls up, and we'll let him kind of spitfire through like pendings and homes for sale. What do you do to stay focused on focus yourself?
Well, this is a really interesting question, and for me, it's going to be maybe a little bit of a surprise answer. First of all, I've got to have solid goals. So if I don't have solid goals, I don't know what my numbers need to be. I don't know what I'm on track to hit or not on track to hit.
Yeah.
My focus tends to fall. So right off the bat, I've got to know exactly what my goals are. But actually working with Brooks Summer for the last 13 years, this is a really interesting way to look at it. Surrounding yourself with the right people who also are focused on focus will bring you along. So there are days when I'm lacking focus and I can find myself wanting to doom scroll and sit for hours on social media. But when I've got a guy like this in the next office who is constantly grinding and constantly working as hard as he possibly can, it encourages me to do the same thing.
Let's go to the chat real quick, and then I've got a question I'm going to pose to all three of you guys. And I'm curious. I think we'll get different answers from everybody. But Megan Martinez has taken the lead, and we have got to spotlight this because she's in the emoji lead right now with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 lit emojis. And she says, let's go with 4 exclamation points. So right now, Megan Martinez with Epic Real Estate is leading not only the exclamation contest, but also she's in first place in the emoji contest in the chat. So thank you, Megan, for tuning in. Here's the question. Jason, do you believe that focus is contagious?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that if you are in the right room or surrounded by the right people, it's going to be contagious.
Okay.
There's a lot of people out there in real estate that are on a ship all by themselves.
Okay.
And I think that is very, very difficult to be focused on focus. There's a reason why I don't work from home. Even
Exactly.
though I could easily work from home, there's a reason I don't sit at my desk in my house and expect to get work done because there's too many distractions. But when I get up and I actually get dressed and I go to work, now get dressed, that's a good topic. So we can come back to that. But dressing appropriately for work will change your mental game and how you're focused at work.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. Do you believe that you are more productive in an office setting than a home office setting?
1,000%. Yeah.
Okay, why?
Well, it's just because I'm surrounded by people that we're all going the same direction.
I see.
And so when I'm surrounded by people who are also working, we have moments where we'll stop and we'll chat and we'll cut up. But everybody's, okay, it's time to get back to work. Let's get back to work. It's contagious. Watching Brooks set an appointment, set a listing appointment, watching Brooks sell a house and put it on the board is contagious. You want that same experience. And so we have actually been in the trenches together fighting the same battle for many, many years. And I would like to say that we encourage each other in our times of weakness.
So
Okay,
part of that,
same question.
Yeah. So part of that is that my personality, if we look at the disc, I'm going to be a CSD, really a lot of D. And so I'm driving for results. Now, Jason's a high I. So Jason can do a lot of focus, but there's going to be a time where he's going to have to get out and go into the agent room and sit down and start talking. And that's not something that I necessarily have to do in order to get re-energized to go back to my task. Like there were times when on the come up, Jason has a ton of natural ability, and so he could come in 30 minutes, an hour on the phone, set an appointment, and then take off for lunch.
Oh.
For me, I would have to spend 12 hours on the phones. I would take a couple of breaks, mainly to do like just pull it back, run to the restroom, come back and hop back on it. And so I didn't have that natural ability. I didn't have that ability to connect with people. And so it was always extra effort on my part. So if I didn't have focus, I never would have made it.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Do y'all believe that y'all have grown by being in proximity to each other for over a decade in your focus? Do you think Jason's focus is rubbed off on you, or your focus is rubbed off on him, or vice versa?
I want to hear how Brooks is going to answer this before I
All right,
say
Brooks, you take it first.
So there's many times when Jason wants to go out to lunch and, you know, I've got too many things going on. And so I don't. I just sit there. And so Jason goes out to lunch. And I would say that there are times where, you know, I've been able to knock out enough where I feel that I've earned the right to go. I am been one who can easily deny what I would like to do for what I must do.
I love that. I love
And
that.
so that's one of the reasons why
Is that pain today, pleasure tomorrow, or pleasure today, pain tomorrow?
a lot of it is just, you know, there was that point where I had come back home to spend time with my parents to help my mom take care of my dad. So I was living at home, 30 years old. Chad was paying me $22,000 a year. And even though I was doing a very noble thing, I felt like a loser.
I understand.
And so there was a very big drive within me not to be a loser. And even though I've attained some things, that is one of the biggest arching over me is that, you know, at any moment, all of this could change.
This is interesting that you say that one of your biggest overarching drivers is to not be a loser. This really actually is kind of somewhat a cool place to pause. This is a worthy conversation. Once you get driven out of not being a loser status and you've like started to achieve something, the avalanche is so big at that time, why would you let it melt? It's interesting that might have been the thing that built your avalanche,
100%.
but not the thing that keeps it going.
Well, and one of the things is, so we'll put our contracts on the board. So basically what I would have to fight is this, I've already done all of this work. And so I wouldn't put my contracts on the board. I wouldn't make announcements that I got something under contract. Because the truth is that in the back of my mind, I was always concerned that I would set the cruise control, that I'd be like, okay, I got it. And that is one of the things that I think that I see people do the real estate roller coaster.
Yep.
Is where they will get a bunch under their belt and they'll think that they've made it, and then
Cruise
they're not
control.
doing lead gen, and so it goes away. Because everything in this business is 30-60, and if you
What do you mean by that?
30-60, 90 days to close.
Okay.
And when the new month happens, as today, what you did last month has no bearing on the amount of income you were going to make.
Because, James, how many deals have you closed this month in October?
This is day one, so 0.
How many deals have you closed this month?
0.
How many deals have you closed this month?
I'm going to go with 0.
Yeah, this is myself too. This is a great equalizer. The start of the month, which is where we're recording this podcast, if you're consuming it right now, we're all level playing field.
100%.
You could be coming off a month last month where you closed 36 deals. Matters not today.
Well, it's important to remember,
James, same
too-
question.
What was the question?
Sorry, no. Go ahead, because you're on to something.
Well, what I was going to say was, we're always probably very little activity away from getting the result that you want.
Oh, my gosh.
And it's like, there's been days where I've come in and thought, there's the last thing I want to do is be in this office. The last thing I want to do is sit here and call people. This is, because it's a hard thing to do, right? And
Oh, yeah.
But, when I can sit down and focus for 2 or 3 hours on calling people, following up, cold calling, even all those things, you walk out of the office every day and you're like, I'm so glad I did that, because now that, we talked the other day about, I'm not calling expireds. I'm not following up with leads. I'm not doing the hard thing. What I'm doing is actually changing my life and changing my future. And so, one of the things that will help push past, the thing that's causing you to not be focused is realizing what's on the other side of that focus.
So good.
And so, I love this Gary Keller quote. And the one thing,
Who's
Gary Keller, he used to run this company that people. Anyway, so the question is, what's the one thing that I can do such by doing it that everything else will be easier or unnecessary?
Yep.
And so that question can be really small, but it can be really big too, because, if you make what is the one thing I can do as big as have a successful decade run in real estate, that will make working unnecessary in my future.
Oh, yeah.
That will make stress not have to happen in my future, financial stress not happen in my future. And so as agents, we had you can kind of do everything and do nothing all at once. I call it like Bucky's brain. When you go to Bucky's and you're kind of thirsty and you're kind of hungry, and then you walk out of there and all you did was pee. You're like, I could have gotten a deer stand or beef jerky. I could have bought a gun or a truck or fudge. And I walked out with nothing, because you can kind of get anything or nothing all at once.
You call that analysis paralysis. I learned that term from you.
Yep.
Yeah. Bucky's brain is kind of the more relevant to me.
Yeah.
But so all of that to say, if you can just find one thing and focus on it that is centered around your business, and then focus on it for a long time, or time on task over time, then the future becomes so much easier because you did the hard thing today.
I really like that. Let's go to the chat real quick, and then I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Brooks and Jason, which is, do you believe in your heart, do you believe one way or the other, there's no right or wrong answer, do you believe that focus is contagious? So let's go to the chat, and then we're going to get James's answer on this. So Shaughnessy Ransom says, I write down things I want to know that don't actually pertain to my current task to be completed, and when I end my day or have downtime, I look those things up. When I scroll, I try not to get caught up too long. That's a good tip. I probably spend the most time offering positive thinking skills or escalating heated online disagreements. Wow. She says, I'm more productive away from people. And then she says, do you ever think that saying not being a loser can actually be attracting negativity rather than I will be a winner? Brooks?
Oh, I don't say it. I just say that that's the motivating energy with which that I pursue things.
Yeah.
People
So
run from pain before they run to pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
Naturally.
You're a winner, Brooks.
Yeah.
Thank
You're a
you,
winner.
Jason.
Yeah, I like that question because Shaughnessy has a good point here. Like, people are doing one of two things at any given time. They're either running towards pleasure or they're running away from pain. And you've got to be, as a salesman or a leader, you've got to be decisive enough to say, is this person running from pain or towards pleasure? And a lot of times, you can take like divorce as an example. The reason behind every divorce is one of those. They're either running towards pleasure or away from pain, or a combination of both. And you can apply this to so many different things. And I have been through a divorce. It was very difficult. And through my grief and through the divorce, once it happened, it was like, I'm going to go to really hard things right now, like 12-step programs and inward looking at things that I need to fix and how can I get better. That took me forever to realize that I had to everything in life you either grow from, you either win or you learn. I didn't win in my first marriage. Now, I'm victorious because I have 3 great children, but I had a lot to learn through the divorce. And that took a massive amount of focus and ownership. And I think those 2 words, what I'm trying to get to here is the 2 words that go hand in hand is focus and ownership. So I'm going to ask you something, James. Do you believe that focus is contagious?
Absolutely, because focus is what leads you to success in our business. And so when you see other people in your office and you play the comparison game and you look at that person and go, man, if they can do it, how come I'm not doing it? Well, they're focused on something that you're not. And so when you see other people succeeding, it's that confirmation bias, right? You go, oh, the housing market sucks. And then someone in your office who you think sucks goes and puts one under contract. You're like, dude, if they can do it, I can do it. And so, yeah, focus can be contagious because if everybody else is in their office hammering it and you're just kind of screwing around at the coffee machine again or doing whatever you're doing, you might, it takes some introspection, but some people can look at that and go, okay, I need to focus. When someone else is ringing the bell, ding, 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 I set an appointment. I'm out of here. See y'all later. I got to go meet with this FSBO or whatever.
Wow.
Then that needs to light a fire under your butt. It does for me.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Jason?
Yeah, I was just going to say that I love that you said there's no wrong or right answer in this. And we're all encouraging each other all the time without even really knowing it because of that. But it's all personality based. And that's why there's no right or wrong answer. If I don't go and have lunch and take that break, that mental break, I'm going to be worthless the rest of the afternoon. And Brooks knows that. That's why every day I'm going to take my break and I'm going to go do something. And I may have focus for 2 or 3 or 4 hours at a time, go do something, come back, and it's going to be great. Brooks, on the other hand, totally opposite. Brooks is, he said basically he doesn't focus on the small successes. Every agent that I coach, I encourage him to celebrate your small successes along the way. Celebrate the appointments you set. Celebrate the small closings you got. Celebrate that you set a listing appointment with an expired or whatever that might be. But that's because we have to build them up and not hit that wall where it's like, oh my gosh, I've been doing all this work and I've got nothing to show for it. Brooks's mind works totally differently. Brooks is not going to be satisfied until he hits the ultimate goal, not the little steps along the way. But when you talked about Buc-ee's, see, Brooks is the opposite. Brooks is not even he's not even stopping at Buc-ee's. Brooks is looking at his clock going, I got to get home. The GPS said that I can make it in 3.5 hours. I'm going to make it in 2.
Yeah.
It's true because at the end of the day, there are certain places that I do avoid because I know that they can be time wasters, right? And so it's a choice about where am I going to put my time, and because I do have high expectations for myself, and then the other part of that is that I can tend to beat myself up if I don't hit the things that I've already predetermined that I need to hit.
Yeah, this is kind of cool. We'll go to the chat real quick, and then we got a good question that came in from YouTube. Chamberlain says, "LOL Buc-ee's," and Megan Martinez says, "I need the self-control to walk out of Buc-ee's empty-handed," and a laughing emoji. I feel the same way. I think. Go ahead.
One of the things that's crazy is you have to understand the sheer size of Buc-ee's, and I started looking at it. It is the interior of the store is an acre.
Is it really?
Just the interior. It's over 43,000 square feet.
It's a farm.
It's a city unto itself. It's normally set up on at least 18 to 20 acres. So when you think about just the magnitude of, and then they pay their managers over $100,000 because that's how much they are bringing in that they can do that. So, you know, if you need a good, clean restroom and you need to resupply, Buc-ee's is the greatest place to go. And so it is a discipline to walk out there with nothing, but yeah.
Well, they get you with that clean bathroom, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, you get to the piece where you say everybody's got $20 to spend, is the old adage in commercial retail. You know, get the $20 out of everybody, put the items up at the register because everybody's got $20 to spend. Buc-ee's is the first company that came in and changed the game and said everybody's got $40 to spend. And the average person at Buc-ee's, the average transaction is over $40 per car. And you do this and you see 600 or 800 cars in the parking lot, and those cars change every 20 minutes. You start doing the math on this and you're like, whoa, are they really doing 800,000 in sales per location per day? And you start doing 800,000 times 7. Are they really doing 5 million a week? And are they really, so it really is an interesting thing. Why is Buc-ee successful? It's the word we're talking about. Because they focused. They put a game plan together and said, you know what, if it's been done at the $20 per person, let's write a game plan where it's a little bit bigger, a little bit cleaner, a little bit more fun, a little bit more convenient, and people will come to us over the others, and we'll get a little bit more average dollar per sale. And boy, they have done it, and they've changed the game. And I want to go to this question because this is really good. I guess it's posed to anybody. I think it was posed off what James says, but what is the number one thing I should change in my business if I'm not seeing the results I want and I know it's from lack of focus?
I would go with mindset. You know, that was the one thing that as I prepared for last week on America's Real Estate Show, I totally forgot where I'd come from to a certain extent and how bad that I was. I know I'd get reminded by Jason all the time that I was very antisocial, but the KPA said I lacked sociability. I was very aggressive.
What's the KPA?
The Keller
Personality assessment?
Yeah, personality assessment that's done by Keller Williams in order to assess you in regard to RSTLM, recruit, select, train, lead. And so, you know, because I kept getting asked, well, how far have you come? What were you like? What were the words that you would be described with? And I was like, I don't know. I knew I was aggressive. Militant was a word that came to mind about myself. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of agreement here. And I knew that I was very antisocial. And so just like focus, all of these things can be learned traits. You just have to write out what you want and then rehearse it to yourself, and you will create who you are in your mind, and then you start taking action on it.
Yeah.
So can you read that question one more time?
Yeah. What would be the first step that I would take if I'm not hitting my goals and I know it's because of lack of focus?
So I would, this is going to go off topic just slightly, but I would ask myself, I would go back to my goals. There's something that you say a lot, Jonathan. There's something that I say a lot. You actually said that if your goals weren't being met and somebody strapped a bomb to your leg and gave you 6 hours to go set an appointment, would you do it? And I've often coached agents and said, I don't care what your goal is. If there's no pain associated, if your job is or your goal is I want to lose weight and I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to go to the gym 4 times a week. When you don't go, if I told you every time you don't go, I'm going to cut one of your fingers off. How many fingers are you going to lose before you never miss the gym?
Yeah.
Zero,
right? You're going to be like, I'm not losing a finger over that. So I oftentimes ask agents, and I know we're talking about focus today, so it could simply be about focus, but it could also be, are your goals really your goals?
Yeah, that's true.
Because
or did
if
someone
you're-
else create them for you and
Well,
say, you
right.
need to sell this much.
It's easy for me to say, well, I'd like to make $1 million. But if I don't actually know what that means and I don't have a path to hit those,
Yeah, that's
I
good.
show up every day and my goals are worthless because I don't even know how to get there. And it's going to be, I'm going to blame it on focus, but really, truthfully, I don't even know where I'm going. I need a roadmap.
If they're not vested in those goals, if there's not, as Jason's saying, some pain behind it or some type of energy that makes it where you have to hit those goals. We refer to it as a financial thermostat, right? Everyone says that they want to make $200,000 a year, and then you say, okay, so if you made $180,000 a year, would you be okay with that?
Oh, yeah, that'd be a
I'd
good
okay.
year.
Okay, so $150,000 a
Oh
year,
yeah.
$120,000 a year,
I don't know.
$100,000 a year.
No.
Okay. And then that's what they're going to make, because once they start to hit these things in their mind, these little mental hurdles where they've, okay, so I hit
That's
that,
really good.
I hit that. And so then they stop focusing because they've actually achieved in the back of their mind what their true goal was, which was just enough to cover themselves.
You know, that's really interesting. Somebody says like, you know, I'm going to go make 200,000, and then you say, what if you make 100? They say, oh, that's a pretty good year. What if you make 50? And they're like, I couldn't live if I only made 50. You know, that sucker's not making 50.
That's where their
They're
thermostat
making
is.
just above, you know.
Yes.
So that's kind
But
of
it's-
interesting. I love that.
It's also important to talk about that all of us are in a different financial state in our lives.
Yeah.
We've got agents that are brand new that still live with mom and dad. And of course, their financial thermostat's not going to be what ours is. Everybody at this table, you know what drives me to hit my goals?
2 girls in college.
2 girls in college and a wife at home, and knowing that if I don't bring
2
home,
daughters in college. Let's be clear so the chat doesn't
Okay.
blow up. Holy smoke.
those are my biological girls.
2 daughters he's putting through college. Let's be
Yes.
clear. Okay. Now, 2collegegirls.com is not a website we endorse. Okay. So,
That's actually a different kind of focus. We don't
okay.
want that.
Yeah.
So,
And a
but if
different
it-
F word, but we're not going to go there today.
Yeah.
We're only talking about focus, guys.
focus.
Come on, okay.
If I don't focus and hit my goals, they take things away.
Yeah.
And so that's a huge motivator.
Yeah, let's go to James real quick on these, you know, on these trends that we look at every month on the real estate. Let's go see what some of these numbers are. The one that we studied this morning whenever we were in our morning trading that kind of blew my mind is there's 51,700 properties for sale right now. 51,700 properties. When you think about that number, I looked at James whenever we were looking at that number. I was like, think how many rooftops that is.
Yeah, but this is the part where we have to pay attention to the data, because garbage in, garbage out. We're now united. Netris is united with Houston HAR, so it's now pulling in Houston addresses, and then last year, 2 years ago, we're pulling in Louisiana. So
yeah.
I would find these smoking hot deals in Mansfield on an acre, 200,000, and then you get super excited. You're ready to call your client, and then it's in Louisiana, and you're like, I'm not going to drive there.
Mansfield, Louisiana.
There is
there a Mansfield, Louisiana?
just south of Shreveport.
So you've
Yes.
made that mistake?
Oh yeah, many times.
James, you want to run some of these numbers? Like this right here will be a focus on facts. Okay, so we're going to call this a little bit focus on facts.
Focus on the facts.
Is the market suck?
Wow,
Does the
dude, that's
market
great.
suck? Is it awesome? Is now a good time to sell? Is now a good time to buy? Are interest rates still in the 8s?
No.
So
Focus on
James,
the
take us
facts.
away.
Well, let's look at Tarrant County because that's hyper local to where we work. And so right now in Tarrant County, there are, drum roll please, 7,262 homes for sale in Johnson County right now. Last year there was 68. That's weird. And then in 2023 there are 5,100. So
So the
that
inventory is
is-
going up.
Yeah, that is we're 6% over last year, and the year before that was 33%. So the inventory is higher than it's been ever.
Yes.
What's closed sales look like in Tarrant County?
Right now, closed sales last month is 1663.
Is that up or down?
That is down ski. That's 3.5% down. So what that looks like month supply is 4 months of inventory in this market.
And we still got 2 or 3 days for them to close things out for the end of the month, because how many
There'll be
deals
a couple hundred that hit.
is Ben Caballero going to close out, since
Yeah.
so much of it's new construction? So that's another thing to kind of keep in mind. I think the thing to focus on really is knowing your new construction inventory. I am hearing tons of stories about how builders are really hurting,
Oh yeah, they'll give it away.
ready to make some deals. And so we've been pushing new construction because incentives, interest rate incentives, closing cost incentives, flex cash, appliances, blinds, all of these different
They'll
things.
throw all of that in for you to buy
Warranties.
their house right now.
And so, again, I think a lot of it just depends on what you're focusing on.
Yeah.
If you know your inventory and you know what your buyers are looking for, and you really understand your buyers and the inventory, you're still going to be winning in this very slow market.
Yeah, I see a lot of back end deals for developments, and so I know what builders are looking at right now. And so there's areas in Dallas-Fort Worth that are like no-go areas. Like Godly is a no-go area for builders. They're all losing money.
Too much inventory
There's
at
too
once.
much inventory and the demand can't keep up. And so what that means for buyers is if you like Godly, you want your kids to play football there, you think that's a cool town, that is one of the hottest cities to purchase right now because
The schools are good.
the schools are good. The what you can buy for your money out there is great, and builders are just like, get us out of here.
Yeah, and I get
give
to
it
the
to
point.
you.
I get, James is making a good point here. If you want to find a deal, there are places right now where it's like, oh my gosh, we've got 300 of them to sell. We will almost work a deal. We'll pay you to take the house. So this is a great time for a first-time home buyer to say, I didn't think I could afford a house. Well, when a builder's just cut it $130,000 to just ship it, this is like the example Gillian texts me Saturday night. She knows where I get my suits. The
H&M.
place that I got the place that I get my suits was, listen to this, coat and pants for a very nice suit. They had it marked down to $125. $125 buys you the suit. And that was like 85% off or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
But it was like, come get it. There are cities right now, James brought up a good one, where Godly's like
Granbury.
85% off. Come
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
The outskirts
Cleburne.
because of the drive in is one of the
Cleburne,
fewer
yeah,
areas.
Granbury.
Yeah, Cleburne's actually. I went on Monday through a bunch of communities in Cleburne, Godly, and Granbury, and what I saw was a ton of inventory and them not doing really any starts.
Okay.
So this is a little bit. This is something to be paying attention to because not only do they have inventory, but they're not even really ready to start building more homes like they had been.
Yeah,
So-
they're pulling back on land acquisition too.
Yeah.
All the big ones, D.R. Horton, Pulte, History Maker, they have deals under contract and they're backing out of them.
Yeah, and the focusing question here is if you're not a home buyer or home owner yet, the focusing question from today's podcast would be, and this is to the whole audience, anyone consuming this, would I move to a different city to become a first-time home buyer? And what I mean by that is if I knew that I can get a house for $350 in Burleson, but the similar square footage and size is $180 in Godly right now because it's like come get the suit sale, would I be willing to be a first-time home buyer, move a little bit outside the city where I'm renting to go to Godly to be an owner? I think that's the question that the whole audience should take from this episode today. If you're focused on becoming a homeowner, well, maybe it's Cleburne for you. I saw a deal. This is diabolical. I had a deal offered to me yesterday in Granbury. There was a small single wide on it, small lot, $18,000.
Wow.
So you could have become a homeowner of a small mobile home, but a homeowner nonetheless in Granbury for $18,000.
And call Brooks for those types of deals.
Yeah, that's his specialty.
Phone number is.
Yeah, I mean, the truth of the matter is the components getting into it. If you think about just if you got a water meter, your water meters are now anywhere from $2,000 to $6,000.
Sure.
Your septic is going to be $9,000 to install it. Your lot cost, even on a small lot in Granbury, is anywhere from $4,000 to like $16,000. So basically, the mobile was free.
Yeah, and this is really cool. I want to give some quotes here that I brought to the podcast today because the title of our podcast is Focusing on Focus. This is one of my favorite. Winston Churchill says, "You will never reach your destination if you stop to throw stones at every dog that barks." What does that mean to you guys?
Wasting your time focusing on haters.
Yeah. Dog
Well,
barks, let me pick up a stone.
I would say the distractions in general, not just the haters, but every time I stop and I take my focus on my goals to go, oh my gosh, look at what the news said again about real estate market. It's horrible. Oh, the sky's falling. All I'm doing is never hitting my destination.
Yeah, what you focus on expands. That's another bold law from Keller Williams. And it's like,
Someone
what's
put that in the
happening
chat.
in reality, the government shutdown or whatever's going on today, does that affect anyone at this table in reality?
No.
Does that affect
Only if
any
you-
transaction you have going?
Only for IRS transcripts, USDA loans, because the Department of Agriculture has been shut down. So in general, no, it's not going to. The banks will figure it out. For those people that need IRS transcripts, they've done it before. The longest, and if you're an agent and you have not subscribed to JVM, Jay Voorhees, and his little, I guess, daily email, like it encapsulates all of this. He's been doing it for over 20 years, and it gives you a great market snapshot. and helps you understand current events in the context of a longer view of the real estate market.
That's good. Yeah, here's the second quote. Lack of direction, not lack of time, is the problem. We all have 24-hour days. Zig Ziglar. Time is the great equalizer, man. Like, I almost loathe hearing people say, I don't have enough hours in the day.
You've got to stop saying that. And the reason why is that you will live that out. If you believe that you got more than enough time, things will work out. But if you start saying, I don't have enough time, I'm too busy, business will stop coming to you. You will start saying no to good things as opposed to saying yes.
Yeah, you can't be a yes man and claim to be focused. Starve your distractions, feed your focus. Such a great quote. I love this one. The successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus. That's a Bruce Lee quote. The successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus. I think about laser-like focus when I think about Kobe Bryant. He was the first person in the basketball court each day for a game. He was the last person to leave the arena. Nobody sees that extra time that he put in. All they see is the live viewership during the game. That dude was there shooting frees, shooting free throws, shooting threes over and over and over again for hours until the second person to get to the arena got there. And he joined in. Then the third. Then the whole team was there practicing. Kobe was the last person to leave. It was that laser focus because his goals were not a win tonight. That was on the journey of a national championship or a ring at the end of the season. His goals were so big that he didn't have time to say yes to a lunch at Jack in the Box with a buddy.
He fell in love with the activity.
That's it.
That's what Arnold Schwarzenegger did that.
Yeah.
If you go back, he has a documentary that came out in the 70s called Pumping Iron, and it's hilarious. It's so ironic and hilarious. But he said that the feeling of the pump when he would do bicep curls and his muscles tighten up and tensing up, he said that was for him. He's like, it's better than sex. That's what he said. He loved going like this with weights more than he loved standing on stage and flexing.
And this is the most important part, is that he created in his mind the definition of the win that allowed him to focus on the mundane tasks. Well, I mean, what do we talk about all the time? It's that basic success is doing the same thing over and over again. It's success is not really sexy or exciting. You're not chasing rabbits. What you are doing is you're focusing and you're doing the basics over and over again. And it's not good enough just to start to get it, but you have to master the basics.
I love that so much. Christopher Gonzalez says James is the man with 4 exclamation points.
What up?
Give Chris a shout out there.
Hey, Chris.
And as we wrap up this podcast, I can't believe we're already at an hour. I would just like to say 2 final quotes that I'm going to leave you guys with. One of them is an infinite quote, because we are the Infinite Agent podcast. You can only focus so long on earth, but our eternal infinite destination for those who are believers is in heaven. And it says in the Bible, in Colossians chapter 3, verse 2, set your mind on things above, not on earthly things. And when I think about James's quote, what you focus on expands. When you focus on things above, you make your work each day eternal. You know, I'm a kingdom builder. I love the tithe checks that I get to return back to the church from different real estate closings and things that we've done. And, you know, when you set your mind on things above, your earthly mindset goes away and your eternal infinite mindset grows. And I've heard it recently, and I love this quote. I'm going to say it again because I've said it a lot recently. But your energy flows where your attention goes. So if you want more money, focus on your bank accounts every month. Look at them. If you want more closings, focus on closings. Look at the number that you had last month. If you want more friends, be a better friend to more people. What you focus on expands is such a great quote whenever we're talking about focusing on focus. Thanks for bringing that up, James. Let's go through our final statements. What are your thoughts on what ahas have y'all heard today? Because I've learned a lot in the room.
Jason, go ahead.
Take it away, Brooks.
So, yeah, I think that the big thing to take away, at least from my perspective, is that you're going to focus as much based upon your personality as you can, and you will have to take some breaks, but you should come back. Like, your break should allow you to be more focused as you get into it, and then really think about what do you want in life, write it out, and then meditate on it by talking to yourself about it. Have a good inner monologue that's going to help you stay focused.
That's so good. James, what'd you hear today?
I'm going to piggyback on that. It's like we used to talk a lot about having a big why. Like, why do you get up and do what you do? Like, why do you spend your valuable time doing it? And you have to have a why that's big enough to make you go do it. Mm-hmm. And you have to have a driver, because if you don't have a why that's big enough to make you cry, it's not big enough.
That's really good.
You know, and so your why has to be really big to go do something that's really difficult. And so identifying the why to me is one of the key components on really being focused.
Man, that's good. Jason, what'd you hear today?
Yeah, the why is a huge driver for me. My big takeaway today is really thinking about the people I surround myself with, because you're going to be the sum of the 5 key individuals in your life. And so if ever I am not hitting my focus or hitting my goals because of my focus, I need to surround myself with the right kind of people. I need to make sure that I've got a Brooke Summer and a James and a Jonathan beside me or surrounding me to encourage me to keep going.
Yeah, this was a really good episode for me, because it's something that I'm struggling with right now. As we all juggle. I've got 2 friends right now with stage 4 cancer, really close to me. I'm walking through it with both of them. I've got another friend with stage 3 cancer. I'm a dad to 3 children, now 10, 7, and 4. I'm a coach on 2 football teams. I serve on the board of Burleson Boys and Girls Club football and cheer. Serve on the Freed People Board of Directors, which is an anti-sex trafficking. I run a real estate team. I've got a podcast. I'm a worship leader at Pathway Church. I have all these things that take my focus, but I could do none of them. The One Thing book that James alluded to says, a man that chases many rabbits catches none. I could not do any of these if I wasn't focused on the one that I'm involved in now. When I'm a football coach, I'm dressed like a football coach. My phone's down. My eyes are on my children and my teammates and the kids that I coach. When I'm a real estate agent and I'm on a podcast, my phone is not out, it's down. When I'm speaking to a room, my phone is not out, it's down. And I think today just screamed at me, take ownership on your own focus and live with the magic of the moment. Right now, my focus is the magic in this moment of the Infinite Agent Podcast, episode 14, with James as our special guest. That's all I have right now. And when I hop off here, I'm going to something else that will take my focus. But I really appreciate all 4 of you guys in my life. And Taylor just flew with me to San Diego. Brooks, you did too. James has spent time with me every day, every weekday at the office. Jason, you and I have probably become closer over the last 6 months than we have in our 12-year friendship. And I just really appreciate all 4 of you guys, because each one of you are having success in your own life right now and in your own way. And a lot of it is because y'all said, dadgummit, in COVID, it's not going to work. I'm going to go lock down and figure this thing out. James recently just went all in on video. If you don't follow him on Instagram at James Harold Irwin, ERWIN, you're missing out, because his videos that he's putting out are excellent. And it's because he said, you know what? By gosh, I'm going to get focused on video. That's what I want. And his James Sells Texas Instagram is diabolical, and there's only 3 videos in, and I love it. So I just want to say I'm grateful for the focus that you guys have. It's probably why I'm going deeper in my friendship with all 4 of you guys, because now I'm speaking about it so much that my spirit is attracted to it. So when I see a focused warrior-like individual that is the average man but with laser-like focus, I'm attracted to it. I want to spend more time with those people. So thank y'all for being that in my life. And I encourage anybody in the chat, go find those people in your world who are focused and accept nothing else but victorious winning in their life, because winners find a way to win. It's been a great episode. James, thanks for taking the hour.
Yeah.
Was
Thanks
it good
for having
you?
me, dude? Yeah.
It's funny because we're just sitting
you guys
here.
have been asking me to do this every week, begging me nonstop.
I mean,
You're welcome, I guess.
it finally got to a price where we could afford you. And so thanks for accepting. After 3 price cuts, we finally got him in the room.
Yeah.
So
Half a tin of Zins and a monster.
there it is. I love it.
All it took.
I love it. Yo, guys. Diabolical. Okay, we'll be back next Wednesday, 3:30 to 4:30. Same bat time, same bat cave, but different circus, different animals. See you guys next week.
Ooh.